Good afternoon all. Today we'll be continuing with our next series of lectures. In the last lecture, what we have done is the various data types that were used in Python. Continuing with the chapter, we'll be taking up our next topic. Next is keywords. Various keywords that are used in Python. So what are there with the keywords? These are basically the special words used by Python interpreter to recognize the structure of a program. Okay? These are the special words which are having a special meaning. They cannot be used to represent the name of the variables. They have some specified meaning which is interpreted by the Python interpreter to recognize the structure of the program. Now, as they have special meaning, they cannot be used for any other purposes. Clear? Now, a partial list of the various keywords that are used is given over here. Clear? What are the various keywords? Okay? Like it is and these are the special keywords. And, delete, del short form, from, not, while, as, lf, global, or, with, assert, else. This is basically a list of the keywords that are used in Python. They cannot be used. Every keyword will be having its specific meaning, which we will be taking up as and when they come in the further coming lectures. Clear with the keywords? Next we'll be taking up operands and operators. Now first thing is we must be clear with that what is operand, what is operator. If we know the meaning of both these, only then we'll be able to understand the things. Operand, suppose we are taking the example of 55, suppose we are taking this example 55 plus 45. What do you mean by this? Just hold on. 55 plus 45. Here 55 and 45. These are operands. Clear? And plus this is a operator. Clear? The difference between what are operators? Operators are the special symbols which represents the computation, which will perform some computation. Examples of operators are these are plus, minus, multiplication, divide, any other operator, and they are applied on operands which are normally values or variables. Like here we have 55 and 45 as the values. So 55 and 45 over here are operands and plus is the operator. Clear? We'll be looking at it is in Python. The operators are classified into many types. These are arithmetic, relational, logical, and assessment, value and assessment. Okay, these are some of the basic data types. Values and variables when used with operators, these are known as operands. Okay? Broadly, operators are classified as arithmetic, relational, logical, and assignment. Next we have addition operator. Addition is a symbol is plus. This is 55 plus 45 like this. If we look at the Python program, what it will be giving? Suppose we write down 55 plus 45. Sorry, it is 55 plus 45. This will give you 100. Suppose if we want to store the value of this, suppose we take a variable a is equal to 55, b is equal to 45. We have c as a variable, c is equal to a plus b, c is equal to a plus b. Then we print the value of c. This will give you the same answer. This is how the operators are used. Now this plus symbol, this can be used with numbers also, integers also, or it can be used with strings also. Suppose we want to write down good. Now if it is written in quotes, that means it is a string. Like this we're having, this will give you the combination of good plus morning. Clear? Clear? This is the plus symbol. If you want, similarly, if you want to go for subtraction symbol, okay, suppose a is equal to 32, b is equal to 23 C is equal to A minus B. Then we print the value of C. It will give you value 9. This is all. This works. Then we have multiplication operator. Multiplication, you know, okay, suppose we have 34 into 12. Okay, this will give you the multiplication operator. Similarly, this can be used with strings also. Like if we have this string good, if you want to write it 3 times, we'll be writing it like this: good into 3. This will print 3 times good. This is how this operator will work. Clear? Then we have, after multiplication, we have division operator. How division takes place? It is similar to the other. Suppose it is 17 by 5, where it will be giving as 3. Why 3? Because the data types we have used, 17 and 15 are both integer. Suppose if we write down like this: 17.0 divided by 55.0, this will give you 3.4. Clear? Because both the operands used in this examples are floating type. So answer we are getting here is floating type. Here both the operands used for division operator were of integer type. So the answer we will be getting, that is, will be only integer. Here we are getting floating point 3.4. Okay, this is how the division operator works. Then a special operator that is known as remainder or modulo operator. What is there with the remainder and modulo operator? Suppose we have 17. How it is represented? Just told. It is, suppose if we write down 17%, all of you must be knowing that what is the purpose of modulus operator. It will give you the remainder. Suppose 17 is modulus 3 is there, it will give you 2, because if we divide 17 by 3, it will give you 5 is 15, only 2 will be left. So 2 is the remainder over here. Clear? Then similarly we can have exponential operator. Exponential, you know, raised to the power. Clear? If we want to have 2, if we want to represent 2 raised to power 3, this will be represented by double star 3. This will give you 8, because 2 raised to power 3 is 8. Similarly, if you write down 4 raised to power multi 3, this will give us 64. This is how the exponential operator will work. Then we have integer division. Clear? How you will be writing that? If we write down, suppose 7.0 divided, it is represented by double symbol over here. So if you instead of single division, you write on double division, it will be giving you the answer in integer division. What is the integer part? It won't be giving you the floating point answer. Okay, this is how this works for algebraic operators. Next we have relational operators. We have relational means like less than operator is there, greater than operator is there. So this is how the things works. Suppose we want to find out which 7, if we write down 7 is less than 10, this will return true. If we write down 10 is less than 7, this will return false. Similarly, similarly we can compare the strings also. Suppose if we write down hello is to be compared with goodbye, it will return you false. If we write down the other way around, goodbye is compared with hello, this will return you the answer true, that is other way around. Similarly, less than is there, then we can have greater than, which will work same as that. Greater than represent, how it is represented, 7 greater than 5, this will return you true. If we write down other way around, 5 greater than 7, this will return you false. Similarly, if we write down in strings, if we write down hello greater than suppose goodbye, this will return you true. If we write down other way around, goodbye greater than hello, this will return you false. This is how the greater than operator works. Then we have less than equivalent to. This is same. If we write down 2 is less than equivalent to 5, this will return you true. If we write down other way around, suppose 5 is less than equivalent to 2, this will give you false. Yeah, this is same as we have done with the other. Then we have greater than equivalent to. Okay, this will be same. 10 is greater than equivalent to 12, this will return you false. If we write down 12 is greater than equivalent to 10, this will return you true. Clear? Then we have next operator, that is not equivalent to and equal to. Not equivalent to is, it can be used both ways. If we want, if 10 is not equivalent to 12, this will return you true. If you write down 10 is not equivalent to 10, this will return as false. Okay? This is how not equivalent to works. Okay. Next we have equal to operator. If we write down 10 equivalent to 10, this will give you true. If we write down 10 is equivalent to 12, this will give you false. This is how the things work. Then we have logical operators. Logical means if we have an or, and not operator, these are basically used to combine the two conditions. If we are supposed to combine two conditions, then we'll be looking at the or condition. Or means if from both the conditions, or if one of the operand is true, then the result condition will become true. Clear? What is there with or operator? If one of the operand is true, then the condition will be true. What is there with and? If one of the operand is true, if both the operands are true, it will give you only then the condition will be true. Clear? What is difference between or and operator? In or operator, if one of the operand is true, only even then the condition will be true. In and, if both the operands are true, only then the condition will become true. Then we have not operand. Not is there. What is there with not operand? Not operator, it reverses the state of operands or condition. That means if a is equivalent to true, then not of a will become false. Okay, then we have assignment value. Okay, this is how the values can be assigned. This is basically equivalent to sign. If we write down like this, if x is, this is assignment, we have assigned value of 12 to x. What will be writing? Write down print x, this will give you 12. Okay, similarly we can assign strings also. If suppose y is equivalent to Sumit. Okay, if we want to print the value of y, that means Sumit has been assigned to y. If we try to print the value of y, it will be giving you Sumit. So this is how the assignment operator works. Then we can use the assignment plus equivalent to. There is normally, if we write like this, x is equivalent to, suppose x is equal to 4, If we write down x is equal to x plus 2, then we try to print x. This will give you 6. One other way of writing it, like suppose x is equal to 4, if we write down x plus is equal to 2, then we write down print x. This will give you the same answer. Clear? There are two ways of writing this. Either you write down x is equal to x plus 2. The shorthand for that, for the same, is x plus is equal to 2. This is the same as x is equal to x plus 2. Clear? Next we have minus. Similarly, if we take x is equal to 6, we will write down x is equal to x minus 2. We print the value of x, it will give you 4. Similarly, if you write down x is equal to 6, again if you write down like this, it will be x minus is equal to 2. Then we print the value of x. This will again be 4. So this is the shorthand for division operator. Similarly, multiplication and division, they have shorthands. If we write down x is equal to 2, we write down x star is equal to 4. We print the value of x. This will give you 8. Clear? Again, this is a shorthand for multiplication operator. Similarly, division, if suppose x is equal to 8, we write down x divide is equal to 2. That means x is divided by 8. We print the value of x. This will give you 4. So this is again the shorthand for. You can use both the ways. Either like this. If you use it, if you don't want to use the shorthand, again then it will answer will remain the same. If you write like this, x is equal to x divided by 2. Sorry, x is equal to x divided by 2. Then you print the value of x. It will come out to be 4 same. So no difference will be there. Only the way of representation. This is a shorthand notation. This is a normal notation. Nothing else will differ. Okay. Similarly, modulus operator will be there. What is there with the modulus operator? If we write down, suppose x is equal to 8, then we write down x modulus. If you write down x modulus is equal to 2, what will be the answer? It should come out to be, so suppose we take it as a 3, it should come out to be, if we print the value of x, it should come out 2, because if we divide 3 by 8, the modulus will be, remainder will be 2. This is how your modulus operator works. Similarly, exponential notation can be represented in shorthand also. X is equal to 3. If we write down x 2, this will give you the 9 answer. If you print the value of x, this will give you, yeah, this is same, but this is the shorthand for exponential operator. Similarly, then we have floor division. Floor division, okay, suppose x is equal to 9, x 2. Okay, this will give you 4. Floor division means it will be rounding off it to the integer part. Okay, this is all with these operators. Then similarly to the operators, we can have expressions as well as statements also. What is statement? It is basically combination of values. We can have constants, variables, operators. It generates a single value which by itself is a expression. Clear? Examples are, suppose we are writing 2 plus 2. 2 and 2 both are values. plus or you can say them as operand. Plus is a operator. Now if the computer solves it, now this is the example of an expression. Now the answer will be 4 and hence the expression is evaluated. This is how the expression works. Clear? Then in expressions we can use various types of operators. Clear? Which we have discussed previously: exponential, plus, unary, plus, minus, multiplication, divide, modulo, plus, minus, less than, equivalent to, is equivalent to, not equivalent to, modulus. All these operands will be, all these operators can be used in an expression. Clear? Next is we have precedence of operators. Precedence, you must be clear. What is precedence of operators? Precedence means the order in which the expression is to be evaluated, that is, which operator is to be evaluated first and which is to be evaluated later on. This will be decided based upon the precedence of operators. That is, the operator with the higher precedence will be evaluated first, whereas operator with lesser precedence will be evaluated later on. Clear? Now we'll be taking some of the examples of this statements. Suppose we take x is equal to 4. Then we want to calculate area. This is equivalent to x into x. Then you have print x, print area. You'll be getting it as a 16. So this is a way of evaluating an expression. If you want to print the value of any variable, write down print x. Take care, print areas. Both the statements can be combined also. Suppose we write it like this: s is equal to 4, area is equal to x into x. Then we want to print both x and area. This can be written with the print statement x comma area. So it will be giving you both the values of input value x as well as the area value. This is how the multiple items are printed in same line. We need to separate them with the comma. Then we have we can use comments also. Clear? If we want to have comments, okay, start with 3 commas, like program to print a string. Close it with 3 comma. So this will become a comment. Clear? If you want to suppose x, if we take any variable x, this is equivalent to, suppose we take it as good morning. Okay, and you want to print the value of x, this will become, this is how the value is printed. Now if we want to print this, compound statements are there, if and else statement are there, we can also go for that. Example of this is given over here. If statement, will be covering this in the next lecture, the various control structures used in Python. Now if I is less than 0, what is the syntax of this statement? If else, if I is less than 0, then we're supposed to put colon after that. Then indentation mark is to be there. Indentation is 4 spaces. 4 simple spaces will give you indentation. Like in C or C++, we use curly brackets. No curly brackets are used in Python. In Python, we are supposed to replace the use of curly brackets by means of 4 spaces. Clear? If I is less than equal to 0, print I is negative, so it is indented. Then else, if this is not there, then print I is non-negative. Clear? So this is how the if else statement works. There are some I, some rules that you need to remember while writing the Python statement. Well, one thing that we're supposed to write one Python statement per line. Either we can, although it is possible to write two statements separated by colon, but try to make sure that write one statement per line. Comments start with this thing outside a quoted string and ends at the end of the line. Now comments, these are not the part of statement. As you all know, what is the purpose of having comments? It is used for documentation purpose, so that the program written by you can be easily understood by others also. The comments are not executed by interpreter. For a long statement spanning multiple lines, if we can use this backslash at the end of the physical line to join it with the next physical line. Clear? If you want to combine two lines, we need to use backslash at the end of the physical line. Next one is when entering statements in an interactive mode, an extra blank line is treated as the end of the indented block. Clear? When we are entering statements in an interactive mode, clear? The mode which we are using presently, that is an interactive mode. If we add up an extra line, it will be considered as the end of indented block. Then indentation is used to represent the embedded statements in a compound or grouped statement. Clear? As we have discussed previously also, indentation solves the purpose of using curly braces and like in C, C++. So here no curly braces are there. Indentation is used. White space in the beginning of line is a part of indentation. Clear? If we are having white space at the beginning, that means it is a part of indentation. Elsewhere it is not significant. Note that wrong indentation, this can give result to syntax error. If the statements are wrongly indented, this will give rise to syntax error, and most of the Python editors will automatically indent the statement. While writing any Python program, most of the editors will try to automatically indent the statements. A physical line is what you see as a line when you write a program. A logical line is what Python sees as a single statement. So there is difference between physical and logical line. Physical line is how you see the program. A logical line is how the Python sees the single statement. Now, like in C++, we're using cout statements for printing the values or taking any input from the keyboard. The same is used for in Python. We'll be using raw input. Clear? Raw input. This is how the inputs are taken up from a keyboard. Like we'll be taking a look at the example. Suppose x is equal to, we write down raw underscore input. Then we write down enter the name of the student. Clear? If you enter this, it will be asking you to enter the name. Suppose we are writing Sumit. If we then print x, this will give you Sumit. Similarly, if instead of this we want to have some integer, we need to convert this. How will be writing this? Like here we have taken up the string data type, and we are supposed to write, suppose we want to enter the roll number. You are supposed to typecast it by the means of adding int at the beginning. Suppose we have x is equal to, we'll write int, then we have just told it is int, then we write down raw input, then we write down enter the roll number of the student. Then we're supposed to what is the what is left over here? We are not close the braces because two opening brackets are there. We are supposed to end it. If we write down this thing, then we write down like this, it will be giving you 13. This is all the input is to be prompted from the keyboard. Clear? This is all the things are to be done. One other operator is also there. Input operator is also used, but we should try to avoid the input operator. What is the drawback with this? Input takes whatever is typed from the keyboard and evaluates it. But if input provided is not correct, then syntax error or exception is raised by Python. Clear? So we should try to avoid it. We'll be taking one example of input. Suppose we have x is equal to, we write down input data, we want to enter data, write down. Sorry, this is enter data. X is equal to, we have just hold on, input, we can have enter data. Here after entering data, you can add any expression over here. 2 plus 1 by 3. Okay, this is all you can. Okay, this is all the things will be going on. Next we have taken that care of how the input is to be done. Clear? We have seen what are the drawbacks. Normally the exceptions are raised with this in case of input data, so we should try to avoid using input only. We should use other also. We should use raw input expression. Sometimes this well formed expressions, these can cause havoc. So in nutshell, we should try to avoid using this input data. Similarly, print statements, as we have been seeing this in the whole lecture, that what is the purpose of print statement. It is used to print any variable or any value. Suppose we want to print this thing, print Sumit. Okay, you want to print 3 plus 4, this will give you 7. This is how the print statement is used. If you want to combine some text, clear? So what can be used? Commas can be used, right? If you comma, then you write down okay. This is how by the means of commas we can combine the various statements and they can be printed in a single line. This is how the print statement is used. Comments, we have seen what is the purpose of comments. What is the purpose of comments? It is used for documentation of the program. Two ways, some ways we have looked in the previous lecture also, that how the comments are used. Either we use three quotes at the starting and beginning. Other ways we can use the comments in this way, like this is a comment given, this is a example of a comment given. Clear? Then this is how an expression is evaluated. Clear? This is one of like here they are using triple quotes. This is also one of the way of writing comments. Okay, if you are writing it in a double line, add 3 quotes in the beginning, 3 quotes at the end. Clear? You know that what is the purpose of having the comments? What is the purpose of having comments? It is used for documentation purposes. Clear? Documentation means whatever you are writing, any code you are writing, that should be easily understood by the others also. There are two types of commands. One is implicit, one is explicit. Implicit are those commands which are written in the program, like we are using the comments here. Documentation can be implicit and explicit, like comments we are using, that is implicit documentation. Explicit means if we are having any user manuals, help files with it, that are explicit to the program, which helps in documentation or easy understanding of the program, that is known as explicit documentation. Clear? This is all with the with the various operators, commands, and all the various statements are used. In the next lecture we'll be taking up the various data structures that are to be used in this. Clear? So thank you.